You ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Oh, I live in the hood, ass nigga. Never got put on, always claiming the hood though. Oh, you fucking with the homegirl, but don't come to the hood with none of your damn homeboys. They don't get a pass. Had the little homies press they ass, where your tattoos? Hey, your mama waking up to some bad news. The plug saying groove, I'm a dime. I was long in the race, skinny nigga with the braid. Took a 2-man fade, I'm really from the hood. I took a fucking break to get my money right, but I was banging on the plane in the meeting with Jermaine. They like, poet, oh you bang? They forgot where I came from.
I ain't put my new donation list up yet.
Life right now, cause we don't you ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. And that goes for these hoes too. Start fucking on niggas and throwing these niggas hood up. Ha, lil dot dot. Heard you gave a homie head in the trap spot. Got a throwaway in the stash spot. Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm so high, I'm seeing astronauts. Boy, I ball hard, I need a mascot. Oh, it, and Swahili, I'm a damu. My little cousin making paru. My nigga Uzi, he from Fire Deuce. Pad blows, I be hanging with some real whoops. Gang signs out the window when we drive coupes. Making money with some crips like it's 92. Banging on tracks, banging on tracks. Back in my days, it was banging on. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood, ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
Fuck Chris Brown, nigga. Pull up in the hood right now, nigga. Catch a fade, nigga. Fuck, nigga. Frogs.
You ain't from the hood.
Holla so the blood starts swirling. Fuck you talking about, nigga.
What's up, Tom? You ready, Tom? I ain't put up the new donation list yet, so those who send me a donation today or tomorrow, like DP, new donation, you know, and my boy James Touche, what happened to the red wave that would appear to seem suspicious? Like, man, they redistrict. Damn, it's all messed up. They redistrict the stuff. People moving out of the state. People ain't coming out to vote. It was all kind of messed up. You know what I'm saying? But we finna get that Atlanta vote. Your boy just lost in Atlanta. Blake Massa just lost in Arizona, so that's gone. So we got to win in Vegas, and we got to win in Georgia for it to be a clean sweep. James Touche. It wasn't a red. Look, people think about a red wave. If you look at it, the red wave been happening for a couple of years. It's happening incremental, right? They thought it was gonna happen like once, like one big ass boom, like it was gonna happen over time. But if you look, last time we gained 2 seats. You know what I'm saying? And then all the seats we in 2020. 2020. We kept all them seats and we gained 2 seats, right? So we didn't lose no seats, right? And now we gained some more seats. So it's coming, but it's coming slowly but surely, right? And that's because the campaign wasn't right either. But we gonna get on that another day, James Touche. I don't get you with information on that another day. But today is for the veterans, right? Shout out to my boy Sergeant Mo too, the veteran. You know what I'm saying? The niggas press secretary. But look, I'm finna show you, right, why there's no democracy, as the Democrats call it, right, or equal justice of law inside of the United States, especially when it's dealing with the Democrats. There's no equal application of the damn law, right? Now, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden blatantly lied to the American people. Lie. And you could, and the lie is so blatant, right, that you can fact check it, right? And it's fact check with video. It's not like you gotta do no research to fact check it in anything like that. It's like they consistently lie about the Benghazi withdrawal. Now, you know Joe Biden also lied about the Afghanistan withdrawal. So Biden is on the tail end of having Americans killed in an unjust way, with pullouts and evacuations and ignoring phone calls and all this sort of shit. Now, we're going to look at this video and you tell me, is this a dereliction of duty, and should the Obama and should the Biden and should the Rice and should the Hillary, should all of them be locked the hell up, right? Let's roll it. Let's roll it, Tom.
With respect to Benghazi, we've now seen this argument that's been made by some folks, primarily up on Capitol Hill.
Primarily Republicans, right? They lucky Donald Trump wasn't in office then. They lucky Donald Trump wasn't in office during the Benghazi, right? They lucky he wasn't next to bat, right? They some lucky sons of bitches, because he would have all they ass. He lucky Donald Trump wasn't in politics. Barack Obama ass would be in prison right now.
4 months now. And I've just got to say,
watch he sit up here and lie to the American people. Sit up here and blatantly lie right in our face.
here's what we know.
The only thing, but I do, wait a minute, I take that back. I apologize. I was told a few things, and they were all lies.
Tuesday night at the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, a complex and highly dangerous situation. Outside, an anti-American protest. Then, a group of heavily armed militants, approximately 24 of them, launched an attack firing rocket-propelled grenades.
You heard that? A protest. You heard what the fake news said? The fake news say a protest, right? It's been clearly said it's not a protest. And you know where they got the narrative, the protest from? They got that from the Biden administration. And not just one of them, all of them. Then Barack Obama say, I didn't call, I called them a terrorist. I didn't call it no protesters, right? And it's plainly, right? It's plainly in plenty of clips right before or right after the Benghazi attack, he was saying protesters. He was talking about a video. Line. Then he get in the face, everybody's face like, I wasn't talking about a video. I wasn't talking about no protesters. I was calling them terrorists. You a damn lie. Even the parents say you're lying.
Obama and Hillary and Panetta and Biden.
It took the president 2 weeks to acknowledge that this was a terrorist attack.
2 weeks, right? And this is him getting asked the questions on 60 Minutes, right? On 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes decides to not air this, right? They didn't air this. This is like hidden footage, right? You know, when they be accidentally leaking stuff out. So this wasn't leaked out 2 days after the Benghazi attack. Watch what Barack Obama say.
This morning, you went out of your way to avoid the use of the word terrorism in connection with the Libya attack. Right. Do you believe that this was a terrorist attack?
Well, it's too early to know exactly how this came about, what group was.
Right? You hear that? It's too early to talk about. So Barack Obama, remember when Barack Obama was refusing to call terrorists a terrorist? Well, I'm not going to call him a terrorist. They're like, that's because your ass is Muslim. But Joe Biden got up here and lied, blatantly lied. Hillary Clinton lied right in America's face. Shouldn't they all be? I mean, Joe Biden got about 15 murders on his hand.
I would like to begin with Libya on a rather somber note. 1 month ago tonight, on the anniversary of 9/11, Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other brave Americans were killed in a terrorist attack in Benghazi. The State Department has now made clear there were no protesters there.
There was no protesters there. You hear him? Now, watch the Biden and the Barack Obama administration always say protesters, right? It was protesters. It wasn't no terrorists. Lie, lie, lie. It's a cover-up. And why? Because you remember the emails, right? The 33,000 emails, right? Because some of the emails have something to do with Benghazi. Huh? That was because it was criminal information about Benghazi that led to them soldier murders that Hillary Clinton couldn't let get into the police or the FBI or the DOJ hand, right? She couldn't let them. She'd rather shred them, bleach them, kill them, bury them, burn them, whatever the hell you want to do. But she could not let the DOJ get them emails. I'm calling them DOJ.
Today, Mitt Romney seized on Biden's comments.
When the Vice President of the United States directly contradicts the testimony, sworn testimony of State Department officials, American citizens have a right to know just what's going on.
Huh? You hear that, Tom? Directly contradict the testimony of state officials. That's Joe Biden. Joe Biden was lying about it. He knew about it. Joe Biden knew about it because he was vice president. He knew about it before Susan Rice, right? And Susan Rice went on and blabbed her mouth all on the news, right? But he had to know about it before Susan Rice got in America's face and lied, just like the Hunter Biden story, just like everything else, got right in America's face and lied.
And Susan all came up to me at the casket ceremony. Every one of them came up to me, gave me a big hug, and I asked them what happened. Please tell me. And every one of them says it was the video.
Natural protests that arose because of the outrage over the video.
I think it's interesting the president just said something which is that on the day after the attack, he went to the Rose Garden and said that this was an act of terror.
No, hey, look. Hey, look, and they didn't fact check him, right? That's why Mitt Romney turned around and said, you said it was an act of terror. You see how Mitt Romney turned around? And Barack was like, yeah, that's right, I did say it was an act of terrorism. You a motherfucking lie. Mitt Romney asked him, did you say it was a terrorist, right? That's why he turned around. He want Barack Obama to say, yeah. But Barack Obama like, yeah, keep on talking, right? Barack Obama said, keep on talking. No, you did say they was terrorists, right? You did call them terrorists 2 days, right? The day after the attack, right? No, keep on talking. Keep on. Barack couldn't say, yeah, I called him a terrorist because that was a lie. Mitt Romney couldn't get him in a lie. Now, if this was Donald Trump, he would expose him so motherfucking tough. Mitt Romney didn't get in his ass like he was supposed to. So you said it was a terrorist attack, okay, right? Oh, but no, it's supposed to be a protester. Man, Donald Trump would have called him a liar, you thief, you murderer, the blood is on your hand. Donald Trump would have killed him on this question.
You said in the Rose Garden, the day after the attack, it was an act of terror.
Americans not.
You heard that? You said, right? I'm trying to get you on record that you said this, right? Knowing damn well he didn't say it, right? Now, he in a press conference, he's saying he said it. Yeah, I was saying there was terrorists all the time. All that they saying is fake news.
In Benghazi. What we also know is clearly they were not in a position where they were adequately protected.
Look,
it was not a spontaneous demonstration. Is that what you're saying?
Please proceed, Governor.
Barack don't want to answer that. He was like, it wasn't a protest. It wasn't a spontaneous thing that you've been spreading all over the news. Please proceed. No, I'm trying to get it on record, Barack. Was it a terrorist attack, right? Or was it a spontaneous event? Let me know. Let's put this on record. Because you showing the hell didn't call them no terrorists. Let's put it on record. No, please proceed. Oh, I wish this was Donald Trump. Mitt Romney too soft. Donald Trump would have destroyed his ass. He would have caught his ass in that lie and exposed him.
As other members of families who lost loved ones have said, that's not what they heard. I don't hold any ill feeling for someone who, in that moment, may not fully recall everything that was.
She's talking about the family. I don't hold any ill feelings towards somebody who may or may not remember, you know what I'm saying, that I disrespected them at their funeral or in relation to their son, right? Same thing Joe Biden done, disrespecting the family at the funeral, checking his wives and damn near falling asleep with his aviators and shit. Hillary Clinton done the same thing. Why is it that the Biden administration and the Obama administration both was disrespecting the families of dead soldiers? How is that happening? How did that work?
Thing that was or wasn't said.
And we all know that it wasn't the video. Even at that time, they knew it wasn't the video. So they all lied to me.
Well, there are two options. One is either Mrs. Clinton is lying, or else she has a bad memory because of her age or her head injury that she suffered.
If Senator McCain and Senator Graham and others want to go after somebody, they should go after me.
Senator Lindsey Graham says he will continue to point his finger at the president and all others in his administration involved in what he calls a cover-up of the Benghazi attacks September 11th.
How much can the Democrats cover up? Benghazi, Afghanistan, right? What you call it? Russia, right? The red line, right? Crimea. How much? China. How much can the Democrats cover up? Joe Biden, one of Joe Biden understudies just got busted with crypto money. Bankrupt a couple of people, I think, right? Was donating crypto money inside the Democratic Party or something like that, right? This guy, now they're talking about monetizing it or what you call it? What you call it? Restricting it? What you call it? I just got the word in my hand. You know what they finna do. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about putting some backing behind it, right? So Joe Biden people is donating, breaking people for their money and Bitcoin and shit like that, and donating to the Democratic Party. You're going to try. I don't know the whole story, but it's something like that, right? It's something like that. But anyway, how many things can the Democrats cover up, from sexual abuse to spies, to crackheads, the stealing money, to the big guy, to Afghanistan, to Iraq, to Hades, to, I mean, everything is a cover up. Like, and it's obvious. It's not like they trying to hide it, right? I mean, they trying to hide it, but when it gets exposed, they be like, oh well, we're going to lie our way out of it. They don't even try to, and they do it so blatantly. Everybody like, man, we see the nigga is a crackhead. We see him on the damn, on Instagram, right, in the bathtub with a beer in the pipe in his mouth. We see this, man. We see him with underage hookers. We, like, you can't tell us we don't see this. If we see it, we know you see it, right? Look, you know how fast you motherfuckers saw R. Kelly video? Y'all saw R. Kelly video the same day and arrested his ass, right? You know how fast y'all got Marion Barry video when he was smoking crack in the motel? Y'all got that shit fast, huh? But all of a sudden, you got all these videos. This nigga, look, he got a collection, right? This nigga Hunter Biden can start a whole a whole series. This nigga got a whole collection of whatever section you want to do. And I mean, the dirt, he can have a porn section. He can have a crack section. He can have a fucking nudist section, right? He can have a fucking alcoholics. I mean, he can have so many damn things. Like, why the FBI, you don't see none of this? You don't see him weighing the dope on the scale, arguing with the prostitute about the price of the dope? You mean we saw it, but you ain't saw it? You ain't saw it. You ain't heard none of these phone calls from Joe Biden talking about, hey man, the thing you got with the New York Times is A-OK. You mean none of that? Right? Hillary Clinton get off from emails, Benghazi, right? Hades, right? and murders Jeffrey Epstein, right? I mean, and it's like, fuck it. Most of the people who was with Jeffrey Epstein was Democrats, right? And how is it that all of them suddenly scot-free? Old girl Gypsy Calypsy, right? She in jail and she want to snitch. They want to allow her to snitch. So I want to snitch for some extra, get some time off. Like, no, you don't. Your ass is crazy. We're going to lock your ass up. Anybody else, they would have said, you got some important information because somebody was having sex with these little girls. We need to lock their ass up too. Why they not holding up? Why they holding Kanye responsible for shit and they not holding her responsible for shit? Like, come clean. Cleanse your soul. Let us know who these dudes was so we can get the people that was involved in this crime, right? Because you just can't get the person that pimped them. You also got to get the perpetrator, right? You can't say you can't say, man, because I bought her, that means I'm excluded from the act. No, you still having an underage thing. You can't say, I bought her, so I'm excluded. No, you part of the crime. You are part of the crime. You paid for it, you slept with it, you touched it. Your ass is part of the crime. We need to know, right? Because Jeffrey Epstein and Gypsy Calypsy wasn't the only two damn people involved in this damn crime ring, right? Why is it only two? Look, think about it. Right? This crime, I mean, it's supposed to be thousands of powerful men, right? Because it was all kind of little girls coming out, right? You mean to tell me the only person that got convicted is Gypsy Calypsy, right? And Jeffrey Epstein? Huh? They're the only two people that's getting indicted, getting investigated. It ain't been no niggas getting arrested, right? All the girls' pictures and names they done dropped and shit, right? You mean there ain't been no investigations? All of it dropped? Wait, so look, it's either the girls lying, right? Either the girls lying, right? Or it's some other or some other suspects out there, right? It can't be, okay, they just committed a crime. He got black books and videos and tapes and names and flight records and interest records and all kind of shit. You mean to tell me ain't nobody getting investigated? Nobody. It has to be somebody. Gypsy Calypsy and Jeffrey Epstein wasn't the only one that was committing them crimes. It had to be some niggas driving planes. It had to be some maids. It had to be some other groomers and fluffers too. We're gonna forget everybody. But okay, I'm just saying, if Jeffrey Epstein and Gypsy Calypsy is guilty, where is they damn crimees? Where is they? It has to be somebody who helped. Because they didn't say they was fucking the kids. They said they was pimping them out, grown men. Where is the people that committed the crime? Democrats get away with everything.
It's one thing to put people in harm's way and not come to their aid. It's another thing to lie about what happened to them.
You just gave a long answer, Madam Secretary, to Ms. Sanchez about what you heard that night, what you're doing, but nowhere in there did you mention a video.
In fact, this was not a pre-planned, premeditated attack.
The attack in Libya appears to be a very coordinated military-style attack. This was not a demonstration.
How is everybody know that it wasn't a demonstration going wrong except the Republicans, right? Everybody know it. Fake news know it. Republicans know it, right? Everybody know it, right? The soldiers know it. The damn Libya know it, right? The terrorists know it. Everybody knew it was a planned attack, except the Democrats.
Bad. This was a clear, targeted, planned event.
I want to make sure we get that for the record, because it took the president 14 days before he called the attack in Benghazi an act of...
You see how Mitt Romney played that? That was so, I mean, the audience, he didn't get no wow from it. He didn't get no bang from it, right? You see how I set up? Oh, I want you to put it on record that you went out there and called them terrorists on the garden the next day. Did you call them terrorists? Or you said it wasn't spontaneous? Okay, you said it wasn't spontaneous. Okay, I just want to get that on record right there because it took you 2 weeks. Oh, come on. That wasn't no big bang. The crowd is going to forget about that because you didn't leave it in their head. It didn't start in their head because you didn't set it up right. Donald Trump would have killed that question. You lying son of a bitch. I got a video right now when Donald Trump would have put out the video and all kind of shit like, okay, you trying to say this? He would have had commercials and all kind of shit. He would have caught you in that lie. Next thing you knew, you'd have been blasted. Donald Trump would have been talking at rallies, making jokes about it. Come on, man. That's why I tell Ron DeSantis don't do that shit. Think about what he done to all the Democrats before the debate. He was knocking them all down. He was getting ready for all of them at the same time. He was tearing Elizabeth Warren ass up with the Pocahontas. He was tearing Pete Buttigieg up, right? He was tearing the whole. Think about this. Donald Trump was tearing the whole line them up. He gave all of them nicknames. Called the short nigga from New York, Little Mike. Remember, he like Little Mike. Donald Trump was tearing their ass up. He was like, I'm getting ready for whoever make it fit to get it. It was like, I'm just warming up. Shooting all you motherfuckers down. Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe, I'm shooting your ass down too. Right now. Get ready. Did you see how Donald Trump ended the McCain family? The Bush legacy. The Clinton legacy. Right? He ended all the legacies. You can't say he's not the best ever. The record proves he's the best ever. I'm telling you, he ended the McCain franchise. You don't hear nothing from the McCains. The Cheney franchise, you don't hear nothing from the Cheneys. Right? The Bush, you don't hear nothing from Jeb Bush. He know he cannot come with that his mentality and be welcomed back into the Republican Party. Right? The Clintons, right? She ain't running for no president again, right? Or nothing like that. If she do, she's stupid. Or it was forced on her. Right? He killed the whole, and then like on the Republican side, when he ran for president, right? The best of the Republican was Rubio's, Ted Cruz. They had the best of the best out there. Lindsey Graham had the best of the best. All the Republicans was the franchise, what you call them? The franchise, the corporate Republicans. Shut them all down. Bam, 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 bam. Before Donald Trump was president, all them niggas was getting money from China. All them had factories in China. All them niggas was getting money from big tech and big thing. All of them was that. Donald Trump came in there like, nigga, we finna stop that. We finna stop that right now. Get him, Trump.
Gave Hillary a hug and shook her hand, and she said, "We are going to have the filmmaker arrested who was responsible for the death of my son."
Do you hear that? I'm going to have the filmmaker arrested as for the death of your son. Remember, it was all over a video that's supposed to be pro Muslim, right? You know what I'm saying? That was made by somebody from America, and then they supposed to went off. Hillary Clinton got up in these people's face and lied and say, "I'm gonna catch the killer," like OJ. Like OJ got on in niggas' face and said he was gonna catch the killer too. I'm not gonna believe OJ, and I'm not believing Hillary. I'm not believing neither one of them sons of bitches, right? Neither one of them tell the truth. OJ or Hillary. I'm gonna find the killer, and OJ out there playing golf. Hillary, I'm gonna find the killers, and she out here buying new pantsuits and shit. Think about it. Neither one of them is worried about the damn killer. Because why? They is the damn killer. You want to catch the killer, bitch? Look in the mirror. I'm talking about, you got so many damn hot ones on your hand. You know, look, I think your ass. Look, I think Jeffrey Dahmer ain't got nothing on Hillary.
As a response to inflammatory material posted on the internet.
You didn't mention a video because there was never a video-inspired protest in Benghazi.
There's a crude and disgusting video.
Yes, and I think that you should look at everything she said. She made this statement not only to me, but to other family members. Also, a half hour after this happened, when they had the casket ceremony, she also lied to the American public because she said, and these are her words as best as I can recall, rage was directed at American embassies as a result of that awful video that we were not responsible for.
But what they said was, I will check up on it and get back to you for sure.
That's what the police say when they really don't want to fuck with you, right? Yeah, I'm going to back up on you and get back with you. That's when they really don't want to do it. I'm going to check back up. She might as well say, I'm going to circle back. I'm going to circle back on that.
And you know how many times I heard from them? None.
And like I say, it was confirmed by what was said to other family members as well as what was said on TV at the casket ceremony. She stood in front of my son's casket and blamed the rage directed at American embassies upon the video that she said we had no part of.
Well, at least she was woke. Joe Biden ass was asleep. At least, I mean, that was disrespect, but I mean, it's more disrespectful. I don't know what, yeah, I mean, it's more disrespectful. Like, what's one more disrespectful? To sleep and you know you got the son killed, or lie and you know you got the son killed? Like, which one is worse? To fall asleep and check your watch and wear your aviators at the funeral after you got responsible for these Afghanistan soldiers killed, or get in the parents' face and lie and talk about you gonna catch the killers? Like, which one you think is more disrespectful? Put it in the chat. Time, which one more disrespectful? Lying to the parents about how they died at the funeral, or falling asleep at the funeral checking your watch? Which one is more disrespectful? Like, it's time to go. Joe Biden like, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. And they both were responsible for the murders. Making bad decisions. Ignoring shit. They both responsible, and they both disrespected the parents. And look, and both parents got on TV and said, look, Clinton and Biden ain't shit. I'm going to circle back and keep denying it until it goes away. Coca-Cola say lie is worse than that. If you lie, you gonna get my baby killed to get in my face and lie? That is low down. Coca-Cola, you might be right. Anybody agree with Coca-Cola that lying is worse than falling asleep? It's falling asleep and farting all at the funeral. That has to be the worst. That's disrespectful.
The day after it happened, I acknowledged that this was an act of terrorism.
You see, that nigga can't even keep a straight face. That nigga can't even keep a straight face. He said, I agreed, it was an act of terrorism. You damn lie, you said it was the protesters.
There was a violent protest outside of our embassy sparked by this hateful video.
What did Hillary Clinton not do that she should have done that would have helped you in Benghazi?
I want to know what happened to my son. Why can't these people tell me this?
After months of demands from Republicans in Congress, the White House has released emails related to what the administration said in the days after the terrorist attack in Benghazi. The
emails, remember the all important emails. Why emails important? Because, right, emails has to be, especially when it's done in route of the government, like in lieu of the government, right? It has to be done in a way where you can get information, what you call the Freedom of Information Act, right, on information that was said on certain policies, right? So when you do that shit on a private server, right, you don't give the public or the government to get the Freedom of Information Act on certain policies and things that you've done, right? Now, since Hillary done it on a private server with the private emails, right, you don't know, or you can't subpoena any damn records, right? You can't say, well, we want to see what this was about or this is about, because you don't know if she got this or got that, because it's a private server, right? So you can't get the Freedom of Information Act on it. Oh, this bitch was smart because she had Benghazi information on it. It was a bad thing. You damn right it was a bad thing, Tom. Next!
Emails confirm ABC News' exclusive report that the so-called talking points on the attack underwent 12 revisions, and that substantial changes were made after the State Department expressed concerns.
You hear that? Substantial changes was made, right, after it was concerned. Now think about this. Now think about the so-called paperwork and all that shit that they found in Donald Trump office, the documents, right? Oh, all this is private. All this is hot, top secret documents and shit like that, right? They had to get Hillary Clinton shit, right? And then they had to change it, right? They got it and changed it, then made it top secret. Like, where they do that at? How you gonna get the document, right? Get the document from her, read it, and then change it after 3 years. So the document wasn't top secret till 3 years until you found out she had it, because you didn't know she had it because on a private server. Like, okay, yeah, these documents right here are top secret, so we're gonna classify these as top secret. Come on, where they do that at? It could have been Donald Trump.
Victoria Nuland, your spokesperson at the State Department, hours after the attack said this: Benghazi has been attacked by militants in Cairo. Police have removed demonstrators.
The edits deleted references to the al-Qaeda affiliate Ansar al-Sharia and to previous CIA warnings about terror threats in Benghazi.
Well, she should have provided and answered the emails to end the request for security there at the consulate.
According to senior U.S. officials, that ignited a fire inside the consulate. American and Libyan security personnel, officials say, were forced to fight on two fronts.
If anybody saw that movie 13 Hour, I want to see that shit now. They said that movie was awesome. They would say it was busting and getting off. I want to see that movie because it was based on a true story. And I've been doing so much research on this damn Benghazi stuff. Now I want to see the damn movie. I'm finna rent it on whatever that shit is, YouTube or something. To rent this movie.
The attackers on the outside, the fire inside. Diplomatic sources are beginning to piece together what happened next.
And what I pledged to the American people was that we would find out what happened, we would make sure that it did not happen again, and we would make sure that we held accountable those who had perpetrated this terrible crime.
I want you to pay attention to him holding people accountable, right? Did you hear what he say? Right? This Benghazi shit, right? At the end of this, is a twist to this whole story, right? Because I don't think people really understand what happened to the people that was supposedly done this so-called Benghazi murder terrorist plot at the embassy, right? I don't think people know what happened, the tail end of it, because people know the Big Bang, but you got to follow what happens at the end with the person, where he go, what happened to him, and all this sort of shit, right? You got to follow it. You got to follow the court trials and all that shit. I don't think people follow the court trials, so I don't think you really knew what happened. But you're about to find out tonight.
State Department spokesperson Victoria Nuland expressed concerns about including those references in the talking points. In one email previously reported by ABC News, Nuland wanted the warnings removed because they, quote, could be abused by members of Congress to beat the State Department for not paying attention to agency warnings.
These are the emails, y'all, right? She wanted the emails blocked, right? Because she didn't want the Republicans to get a hold to it, right? It could be abused by members of Congress to beat the State Department for not paying attention to agency warnings, right? These are her emails. I don't want the secrets to get out. Why? Because it can be abused by members of Congress. That's the Republicans, right? To beat up State Department, right? And who over the State Department? No other than Hillary Clinton, right? I don't want to do it because it might beat up Hillary Clinton. That means the Democrats can get away with anything, right? For not paying attention to agency warnings. So she even admitting that Hillary Clinton didn't pay attention to agency warning, and she's saying she don't want the members of Congress to use it against Hillary Clinton. That's a cover-up.
Warnings. So why do we want to feed that either? Concerned.
Benghazi, you got weapons and explosions. Cairo, you got spray paint and rocks. 1 hour before the attack in Benghazi, Chris Stevens walks a diplomat to the front gate. The ambassador didn't report a demonstration. He didn't report it because it never happened.
Right? Don't you think if he walked somebody to the gate, right? He walked somebody to the gate and walked back, he would have saw people out there protesting, and he would have said, hey, it's a protest out there. Are they out here protesting against the embassy, right? He walked somebody to the gate a couple of minutes before this shit happened. He didn't see nothing. Nothing. So how did Hillary talking about it was a protest gone bad?
Officials tell CNN Ambassador Chris Stevens in Benghazi on a short visit from the capital Tripoli, along with Sean Smith.
After some changes were made, Nuland was not satisfied. These don't resolve all my issues or those of my building leadership, Nuland wrote. Her building, the State Department, then led by Hillary Clinton.
Huh? It don't concern all of me and Hillary Clinton needs. I'm not satisfied. Redacted. Right? That's why the emails are redacted. Others was erased, and the ones they got was redacted, right? So that's why they don't know nothing about Benghazi, because guess what? Hillary Clinton wouldn't give them no information on Benghazi. Huh? They wouldn't give them no information. That's why she's getting up here like, oh, I done a perfect job. And then then she's like, oh, I'll take responsibility for it. No, bitch. Where the emails at? What was on that private server?
An eyewitness in the command center that night on the ground said no protest, no demonstration. 2 intelligence reports that day. No protest, no demonstration. The attack starts at 3:42 Eastern Time, ends at approximately 11:40 p.m. that night.
The final edits, however, were made by hand, according to a senior administration official, by Deputy CIA Director Mike Morrell, who shared Nuland's concerns.
See, this is in response to a video that is offensive.
Look, if we're hit by terrorists, we're going to call it for what it is, a terrorist attack.
The whole issue of this, of talking points, frankly, throughout this process has been a sideshow. What we have been very clear about throughout was that immediately after this event happened, we were not clear who exactly had carried it out, how it had been, how it.
You see them not? We wasn't clear how because you wasn't calling them terrorists, right? Early in the thing, you said you called them terrorists. Now you get on here and say early we didn't know what it was, so we couldn't call them nothing. But early in the video on this very same speech, you said you called them a terrorist, right? The day after, liar.
Had occurred, what the motivations were.
Good morning, Josh. As you know, when this attack happened, the White House initially said it arose out of a spontaneous protest over an anti-Muslim video. That turned out not to be true.
He went to the UN, and in his speech at the UN, he said 6 times he talked about the YouTube video.
Extremely offensive video directed at Muhammad and Islam.
And
I mean, he just get on here lying like a son of a bitch, and he said so smooth. I mean, everybody like, Barack's such a good talker. Don't you know that nigga was a good liar? Barack said, look, he had you motherfucking hypnotized with that voice and that baritone and shit. Yeah, it was off the internet, and it was towards terrorists. Oh, the terrorists were sharing the video. The terrorists got the American soldiers killed. Barack said it. It must be true. Everybody is saying Barack is lying. They're like, it wasn't a terrorist. It was a demonstration going wrong, a protest going wrong. I'm tired of these Democrats and these motherfuckers peaceful protests. You mean to tell me now, Libya is having peaceful protests? Come on, man. Come on. They're not having no peaceful protests in Benghazi. They're not Benghazi. Ain't no damn such license. BLM, Benghazi Lives Matter over there. Come on, man. They said if protest is going wrong. It's not Barack. He lied all on the video. This nigga, look, he said it 100 times. I put at least 20 times on here. He done said it. Lying son of a bitch.
And I wonder what is on those emails having to do with Benghazi as an example.
At 4:06, an ops alert goes out across the State Department. It says this: mission under attack, armed men, shots fired, explosions heard.
By the way, just so you understand, when she said 3 o'clock in the morning, take a look at Benghazi. She said, who's going to answer the call at 3 o'clock in the morning?
No mention of a video, no mention of a protest, no mention of a demonstration.
Guess what? She didn't answer because when Ambassador Stevens...
The question is that the discipline of a good leader?
600 times. Well, she said she was awake at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, look, you see what I'm saying? You see how Donald Trump handled the Benghazi in the debate and how the other nigga handled, I forgot his name, the other nigga, Mitt Romney? Well, you said you was in the Rose Garden at such and such, and you said it was a peaceful protest, and you said it was a... Okay, I was trying to get you on record. You see how Donald Trump destroying her? 3 o'clock in the morning. She said 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning. Speaking of terrorists, this bitch right here, well, Donald Trump is a genius at it. The same question asked Mitt Romney, they asked Donald Trump, and Donald Trump totally destroyed the question.
And she also sent a tweet out at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Baffled, you sent Chris Stevens to Libya and to Benghazi. And granted...
What it was a tragedy, Martha. Chris Stevens was one of our best. We lost 3 other brave Americans. And I can make absolutely 2 commitments to you and all the American people tonight.
He never raised the flag and said, I want out. And granted, he never said, shut down Benghazi. And I understand and appreciate that you deferred to him. But you also, Madam Secretary, we have no record of you ever talking to him.
But I want... She don't even talk to him. She don't even talk to the nigga. Like, I hired you and you under me, but I'm not even talking to you, even though you're in a hot spot and you asked me for help and extra security 600 times, right? 600 times. Not 6 times, not 60 times, 600 times he asked for help, right? And look how Donald Trump destroyed her.
But I won't even mention that. But she said she'll be awake. Who's the famous thing? We're going to answer our call at 3 o'clock in the morning. Guess what happened? Ambassador Stevens sent 600 requests for help. And the only one she talked to was Sidney Blumenthal, who's her friend and not a good guy, by the way. So, you know, she shouldn't be talking about that.
But the best evidence is Greg Hicks, the #2 guy in Libya, the guy who worked side by side with Ambassador Stevens. He was asked if there had been a protest, would the ambassador have reported it? Mr. Hicks' response, absolutely.
That you never talked to him personally after May of 2012 when you swore him in as our ambassador. Am I wrong?
A 10-year veteran of the...
Am I wrong? No, you are right. But you see how Donald Trump, how he do it so eloquently, right? You said 3 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? If it was 3 o'clock, you wouldn't answer the phone. If you answer the phone, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know? She the last person to be talking, you know? He said so eloquently, it was funny, it was real, it was to the point, and you're like, oh, huh? The same question. She don't talk to nobody but such and such and such and such. Let me tell you, he's not a good guy. Like Donald Trump would have ripped that question. He would have told Obama ass up. He would have had Obama ass on Benghazi, Obamacare. He would have had his ass on Crimea, he would have told Obama ass up. People would have been feeling bad for Obama after Donald Trump would have got through with him. Ooh, I wish I would have saw that debate. Ooh. Barack Obama would have got there, what I'm saying, like, no, Nick, he's a liar. He's a lying son of a bitch. You're not even from America. Where your birth certificate at? Oh, he would have tore his ass up. I only can dream. They ought to have a mock debate. The Barack Obama, we ought to pay for that, right? I would donate some money. A mock debate. Barack Obama against Donald Trump, right? And look, we're gonna knock Joe Biden off, right? This let them a mock debate about policies and debates and about their presidencies, you know, about their accomplishments. Oh, that'd be a hell of a debate. That'd be a hell of a debate. Look, Barack will be after the debate. Barack will be in the corner somewhere crying with his thumb in his mouth like a little bitch, like curled up like a little baby, like a little bitch, like with his finger in his mouth. Oh, that'd be nice, right? But Hillary Clinton, right? Barack Obama and Joe Biden and the Biden administration, Susan Rice, all of them sit up here and lie to the. I don't know how long, right? The American people, right, or the certain American people is gonna sit up here and let these people lie and cover up shit. They only allowed to do this because people support them, right? They thinking because people, it wasn't a red wave, they thinking they doing the right shit. Well, what we doing must be working, right? 70% of people don't agree with them, but they still sticking with their party, right? Vote blue or whatever that shit is. They don't give a fuck who up in there. People like, oh, it's gonna be a red wave. No, it's still more. Look. Do you hear what people say? Right? They say, like in Vegas, right? They say 75% of the votes are in Vegas, and Vegas is largely Democrat, right? In Atlanta, 65% of the vote is in Mariposa. And Mariposa is Democrat, right? Right? You go to other states, 65% of certain cities, right, or certain states, the most of the population is in 1 or 2 cities. Look at Atlanta, right? You got to win. If you want to win Georgia, you got to maintain Atlanta, right? Most of the population in Atlanta is Democrats. They don't give a fuck who on the ballot. You know what I'm saying? It's not about that. You got to win state. You got to, in order to win some of these states, you got to switch some of them Democratic Party because they usually outnumber Republicans in them states because they mostly control the city. Look at the population in them states, right? In the cities, the most of urban cities, the black cities, it just so happened, right? That's why the Democrats was mainly going at the blacks, right? Because they know if they get them populations, Atlanta, right? They get certain black cities with the big populations in that motherfucker, in Ohio and shit like that, they gonna win. They don't need to get the whole state. They need to get the couple of black people that got a high population in them certain cities. Get 80% of that vote. That's 75% of the population. How in the hell you gonna lose? How in the hell is you gonna lose? You could turn everybody. You could turn everybody outside of the damn city of Atlanta or wherever the hell they got in the county with 75%. You can turn every other county red, dark red, bleeding red, and the shit still ain't gonna work. If it's only a third of the population, right? Because the further you get out towards the city, the more the houses spread out. Because the more property people got, right? You get too far, you're going to be going around when people got acres. The next neighbor ain't till a mile down the damn road, right? Sometimes your next neighbor over here is right. You can knock on the door and hear your damn next neighbor. Some of the Republican territories, they neighbor ain't for a mile. They got 3 people in the household, right? And they got 40 fucking acres or 30 fucking acres. They got 5 people living on 30 fucking acres. You got 30 acres in LA. Shit, you got 1,000. You got 15,000 people on 30. That's 15,000 votes. How you gonna beat that? You got these big ass acres and shit. You gotta have to start moving some black people on them acres to get them damn votes. Treat us like some slaves. Like, you ain't using all this damn land. Move some niggas on here, we vote for Republicans. That's the only way you're going to do it. You can't be, there's no way. If 70, look, think about it. They're talking about 75% of the people live in Vegas. The Democrats, they trying to set this shit up. That's why they stay in power, right? And they're able to get away with this shit because they got the numbers. And when you got the numbers, you got the power, right? That's why you got to start trying to get Republicans young or try to turn them out, or you got to keep running these policies and turning like one race at a time. Bring the Hispanic race, right? And then bring the other race, because you only got the Hispanics in Florida and some in Texas right now. You got to get the Hispanics in damn Ohio. You got to get the Hispanics in Colorado, Las Vegas, Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the Hispanics everywhere, not just in 3 states. But they're able to get away with this shit because can't nobody stop them, because ain't nobody got the votes but them.
A veteran of the State Department in Libya on temporary assignment took refuge in a safe room along with a lead security officer.
Did you ever talk to Ambassador Stevens when all of this was going on in the hotbed of Libya?
For there to have been a demonstration on Chris Stevens' front door and him not to have reported it is unbelievable.
Well, that is a yes or no question, Madam Secretary. I'm sorry. Did you ever personally speak to Ambassador Stevens after? We don't know the answer.
But the room became filled with smoke. The officer left the room, they say. When he returned, Smith was dead.
Did you ever personally speak to him after you swore him in May? Yes or no, please?
Yes, I believe I did. But
Yes, I believe I did. They always say, I believe I did. Yes, I believe I did. Did you or did you not? I believe I did, but I don't remember. You saying both. You saying yeah, but no. Right? Yeah, I did, but I can't remember.
When was that?
I don't recall.
Mr. Hicks said. He said, secondly, if it had been reported, he would have been out the back door within minutes, and there was a back gate.
So the Benghazi report finally came in this week. To me, there's 3 separate issues. There's the before, during, and after. Now, there were over 600 requests for security before this attack. The Red Cross, Great Britain had pulled out of the area because it was unsafe. Those requests were all denied. Some went directly to Hillary Clinton.
Everything points to a terrorist attack. We just heard from Mr. Pompeo about the long history of terrorist incidents, terrorist violence in the country. And yet 5 days later, Susan Rice goes on 5 TV shows, and she says this.
What our assessment is as of the present is in fact what it began spontaneously in Benghazi as a reaction to what had transpired some hours earlier in Cairo.
And she was the fall guy, right? They set her up, sent her on all them shows, sent her on 6 shows. I mean, I think it was 5 or 6 shows in one day with the same message, right? About the damn video. So she was the fall guy. Remember, she came out later and said, you know, she smelled a rat. I was the fall guy. They made her go on all these stages and say the same old shit.
Where, of course, as you know, there was a violent protest outside of our embassy sparked by this hateful video.
Then during the attack, if you were president, I really can't imagine. They were debating 4 hours in, even though they had a live shot of the firefight that was going on the ground. They're debating whether or not we can send our military in without getting Libya's permission, number one. And they kept having our military men and women change their clothes because they didn't want to offend the Libyans if our military went in to save American lives in uniform.
Think about that, right? They was like, well, we don't want you to go in American uniforms, right, and piss off our people, so we're gonna have you wear these Libyan uniforms or whatever. They was wasting time switching uniforms and shit, you know what I'm saying, playing dress up and all this old shit and mix and match and all this old shit. Like, man, can we just go save our people? We ain't got time to be playing dress up. Damn all that, we soldiers. Well, we don't want to start no trouble, and we don't want to look like we helping America. Well, they blowing up our embassy. The hell you mean? We got to go save our people. They're trapped. The hell?
One, we will find and bring to justice the men who did this.
There should be no doubt that we will be relentless in tracking down the killers and bringing them to justice.
And secondly, we will get to the bottom of it, and wherever the facts lead us, wherever they lead us, we will make clear to the American public, because whatever mistakes are made will not be made again.
Ambassador Stevens was missing. One official says Stevens and possibly others were trying to escape to the roof. But then confusion. Officials say Stevens got out and somehow ended up at the hospital. Unconfirmed reports say he may have been unconscious. His body later was returned to U.S. officials at the Benghazi airport.
Benghazi was a spontaneous reaction as a consequence of a video. A statement we all know is false.
Sparked outrage throughout the Muslim world.
But don't take my word for it. Here's what others have said. Rice was off the reservation on 5 networks. White House worried about the politics.
This is a response to a hateful and offensive video.
Republicans didn't make those statements. They were made by the people who work for you in the Near Eastern Affairs Bureau, the actual experts on Libya in the State Department.
5 different networks lying. She was set up. I mean, she a messenger, but her ass was set up, and her political career ain't been shit since.
So,
Extremely offensive video directed at Muhammad and Islam.
if there's no evidence for a video-inspired protest, then where'd the false narrative start?
The video circulating on the internet that has led to these protests.
Started with you, Madam Secretary. At 10:08 on the night of the attack, you released this statement. Some have sought to justify the vicious behavior as a response to inflammatory material posted on the internet.
And the White House said they relied entirely on CIA talking points. But I have obtained 12 different versions of those talking points that shows that they were dramatically edited by the administration.
At 10:08, with no evidence, at 10:08, before the attack is over, at 10:08, when Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty are still on the roof of the annex fighting for their lives, the official statement of the State Department blames a video.
Take a look at 2 of them. On the left, a draft initially written by the CIA. On the right, one that was used by the White House, the final version. What was taken out? All references to Al-Qaeda and all references to CIA warnings before the attack about the terror threat in Benghazi.
Only the Democrats can have a terrorist, right? Can have a terrorist document, right? A terrorist report about an incident, right? A statement, and take out Al-Qaeda and take out the warnings. Take out the most important part. Who done it? What group was responsible, right? And what people was responsible both sides. What people were responsible for not heeding the warnings, and what people were responsible for killing the people. So you took out Al-Qaeda and the warnings. Only the Democrats can do this shit. Only the Democrats.
Benghazi.
During the day on September 11th, as you did mention, Congressman, there was a very large protest against our embassy in Cairo.
I mean, these guys bet against America all the time.
Can we talk about, let me go back to
sure.
Libya.
Watch Paul Ryan's eyes when Joe Biden say, they didn't tell us they needed extra help. Watch Paul Ryan's eyes like, nigga, what?
Yeah. What were you first told about the attack? Why were people talking about protests? When people in the consulate first saw armed men attacking with guns, there were no protesters.
Because
why
that's
did that go on
exactly
for
what
weeks?
we were told by the
who?
intelligence community.
And the White House attempted to clarify.
The Vice President was speaking about himself and the President.
They had to walk it back on old Joe. We had to walk it back. The Vice President was speaking about, they was walking shit back when Joe Biden was Vice President.
and the White House. He was not referring to the administration.
Protesters breached the walls. They tore down the American flag. And it was of grave concern to us because the inflammatory video had been shown on Egyptian television, which has a broader reach than just inside Egypt.
The intelligence community told us that. As they learned more facts about exactly what happened, they changed their assessment.
You don't really believe that.
Because she had this unprecedented email arrangement with herself. Only she and her attorneys know whether or not she turned over everything. What we now know, it is just within the small area of Libya and Benghazi, not her entire tenure as Secretary of State, just Libya and Benghazi. We found 15 emails that she did not produce to the Department of State, despite the fact that she claimed she produced everything.
Well, the State Department.
Right? She did not turn it over, right? She did not turn over all her emails. Only the Democrats can get away with that. Donald Trump would have had the DOJ at his house, the police, the FBI, the swimming ducks, you know what I'm saying? The Bible services. He would have had everybody at his house, right? But not Hillary Clinton. Only the Democrats can get away with this.
Released the first batch of Hillary Clinton's emails on this Friday of the holiday weekend, and among other things, it shows she received sensitive information about Benghazi on her unsecure home server.
So what? Sensitive information on Benghazi on her home servers. Well, they raided Donald Trump home for that, right? Well, how they know she didn't have no other email? Did they raid her house too? Huh? She got to hand hers over, right? And then when she didn't hand all of them over, y'all still didn't raid her house. And then when she said she bleached them, y'all still didn't raid her house to make sure she bleached all of them. She didn't have to bleach all of them. She could have still had some. Y'all still didn't check. Y'all just took her word for it. Huh? But you go in Donald Trump's house and you take all of this shit. But he said, oh, we went over her house and we got some emails off her private server that could have been classified information.
And if you look at what I said, I referred to the video that night in a very specific way. I said some have sought to justify the attack because of the video. I used those words deliberately, not to ascribe a motive to every attacker, but as a warning to those across the region.
Well, Khatallah was viewed as a so-called mastermind of the Benghazi attacks. What information is there about what role he actually played?
Right? You know, they actually caught the dude, right? They caught the dude, right? The main, supposed to be, the main, planner, the main mastermind, right? Of the Benghazi, and they charged him, right? What did he get charged with? I mean, what did he get acquitted with, right? The dude who was supposed to be the head of Benghazi got acquitted of all this shit. Suspect, Libyan militant, right? Acquitted on 14 of 18 counts, including murder charges, right? Now, think about this. Joe Biden and Barack Obama say, we finna get up there and we finna get that son of a bitch, right? We finna go down, we finna hunt him, right? So you mean to tell me he get off all the murders? That's not it. It get worse, y'all.
But he was acquitted of all of the murder charges related to the deaths of the 4 Americans who perished in the attack.
There was no justification for further attacks. And in fact, during the course of that week, we had many attacks.
During the course of that week, we had many attacks. And watch Jim Jordan put her ass in check.
That were all about the video.
You know, the consulate was about 8 acres and it was guarded by 5 diplomatic security officers. And anybody that has ever been around anything to do with security knows that is, I mean, incompletely or completely inadequate.
Hillary Clinton was in Hampton, New Hampshire when the State Department released some 300 messages sent to her on her private server in Chappaqua. It was the first batch made public, those relating to the Benghazi attack in Libya, in which Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans were killed.
We had people breaching the walls of our embassies in Tunis and Khartoum. We had people, thankfully not Americans, dying at protests, but that's what was going on, Congressman.
Secretary Clinton, I appreciate most of those attacks were after the attack on the facility in Benghazi.
How is you like, oh, my bad? Ha! It's after. But how did this suspect get off, y'all? How did he get out? How did the dude, right, he only facing decades, right? Right? But how did he get out of Benghazi? Murders.
It was very difficult for the Justice Department to present this case. If you think about an attack like this that happened overseas, he wasn't even apprehended until several years after the attack and then tried now 5 years after the attack. It was very difficult to find witnesses or have documents preserved. A lot of the Justice Department's case...
Hey, you know how... I want to see who get this question, right? How... compared to Donald Trump, let me see who the first person to get this right. How did they get their information to convict him? Right? They got their information like Donald Trump got his information, right? How did they get their information to convict the dude from Benghazi? I want to see. How did they get it, y'all? I want to see who the first person to get it. What's up, Linda Smallwell? Huh? Time, how did they get it? I want to see who the first person is. Something the same way they got down. I'm giving you a hint right now. The same way they got Donald Trump with the Russian collusion. How did they get the person for the Benghazi murders? Somebody tell me. Trisha, tell me. Somebody tell me. I want to see who's going to be the first person to get it. Right? Let me rewind it just a little bit. Let me rewind it just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm going to set it up just a little bit. Set it up just a little bit. What?
Thankfully not Americans dying at protests, but that's what was going on, Congressman.
Secretary Clinton, I appreciate most of those attacks were after the attack on the facility in Benghazi.
It was very difficult for the Justice Department to present this case. If you think about an attack like this that happened overseas, he wasn't even apprehended until several years after the attack and then tried now 5 years after the attack. It was very difficult to find witnesses or have documents preserved. A lot of the Justice...
Huh? Where did they get the information from? I want to see where they get the information from, Tom. Okay, ask me the question directly. Tricia, where did they get the information from, right? They got the information the same way they got the information from Russia collusion on Donald Trump. So how did they get the information on the dude, on the Benghazi? This is a gangster party. I was like, where the donations at? Where the party at? This is a party. Where the donations at? I'm going to thank you, Black. I'm good, thank you, Black. Oh, Miss Smallwell, thank you for coming in. You was a long-time supporter. Right? Well, I don't keep on playing. Can't nobody guess how they got the person or how they got the evidence on the dude from Benghazi. Remember, he running around drinking tea. He running around smoking weed and doing all kind of shit. How did they get him? FBI agent, CIA, no, it's a certain. How did they get Donald Trump? How did they lie? And what did Hillary Clinton pay for? I gave you the whole hint. What did Hillary Clinton pay for on how they got the money? On the Benghazi, you got me. I don't know. Okay, I'm finna let you play. I'm finna play. I'm finna keep you out of suspense, and I'm finna go ahead and play it.
Department's case rested on an informant who received $7 million for that informant's testimony on the fact that Katala actually planned this attack.
They paid somebody $7 million to testify that this dude planned the attack. $7 million. That's like a steel dossier for your ass, right? They don't have no evidence. They don't have no witnesses, right? They said they don't have them on camera. They paid somebody, right, $7 million, right? So all this, Barack gonna find him, and Hillary say she gonna find him, and Biden say, I'm gonna find him, and Justice Department say, I'm gonna find him. They paid somebody $7 million to tell on them, and this 5 years later. Think about it.
I'm glad that the emails are starting
starting to come out.
But there was immediate controversy because information contained on one email relating to reports of arrests of possible suspects has now been redacted.
Huh? The arrest of possible suspects has been redacted, right? It's been redacted, but all of a sudden he get arrested and they paid $7 million. One of the emails about, think about it, one of the emails on a private server, right, was about the suspect that was going to get arrested in Benghazi. It was on a private server.
Classified as secret at the request of the FBI.
And it was classified as secret. Think about it. They got the information off the computer. Got it off the computer. Got it off the email. Got it off a private server, right? And they had to classify it as secret. Years later, they classified it as secret. So you mean to tell me she has secret documents this whole damn time, right? And the FBI didn't raid her house? Now, let me play that for you one more time, right? They found it, and they made it secret. They made the document secret. We're gonna make the document secret.
Arrests of possible suspects has now been redacted, classified as secret at the request of the FBI.
Huh? Classified as secret. The list of possible suspects now classified as secret. So you mean to tell me Hillary Clinton had a list of terrorists that's supposed to be arrested in the Benghazi incident on her private server, on her phone, and it had to be redacted, right, and upgraded to top secret? Ha! I give up.
I'm glad that the emails are starting to come out.
But there was immediate controversy because information contained on one email relating to reports of arrests of possible suspects has now been redacted, classified as secret at the request of the FBI. The move shows Mrs. Clinton received information considered sensitive on her unsecured personal server.
What? That if you have to classify and upgrade it to top secret, I guess you did. Huh? I guess she did have sensitive information on her secret server, right? But they raided Donald Trump's house for some damn envelopes. Do that make sense, y'all? Is that fair application of the law? They knew it. The FBI said, look, this is sensitive information. We got to upgrade this shit. We got to upgrade this shit now. And we got to change it to top secret. Right? It was sensitive. We got to change it. We don't know who got this shit. Who got it on your private server? Who had access? Could it be hacked? We got to redact the names on her emails and call it top secret. Well, it ain't top secret no more. She had it for 3 years.
And a lot of that just boils down to the ideology of how they addressed her foreign policy to Libya from the very beginning.
Do you directly blame Hillary Clinton for what happened in Benghazi?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you know, if you're in charge, you can delegate your or you can delegate your authority, but you can't delegate responsibility.
A video, a film.
Obviously, we've denounced it, and the United States government had nothing to do with it.
We've seen rage and violence directed at American embassies over an awful internet video that we had nothing to do with.
You mentioned Cairo. It was interesting what else Miss Nuland said that day. She said, if pressed by the press, if there's a connection between Cairo and Benghazi, she said this: there's no connection between the two. So here's what troubles me. Your experts knew the truth. Your spokesperson knew the truth. Greg Hicks knew the truth. But what troubles me more is I think you knew the truth.
The United States government had nothing to do with this video.
The United States government had absolutely nothing to do with this video.
As a consequence of the video.
You don't really believe that.
Dang if I know. I mean, honestly.
She don't know shit, right? She don't know shit. She was set up and she knew it, right? You got to read her book. I ain't finna read it, but she knew she was set up. And the Clintons, guess what? Set her ass up. And she still fuck with them.
I want to show you a few things here. You're looking at an email you sent to your family. Here's what you said.
Then afterwards, you know, she writes her daughter, she talks to the Libyan president, the Egyptian prime minister. To her daughter, for example, she sent an email that says, 2 of our officers were killed in Benghazi by an al-Qaeda-like group, the ambassador whom I handpicked, a young communications officer on temporary duty with a wife and 2 very young children. Very hard day, and I fear more of the same tomorrow. So she admitted to the Libyan president, the Egyptian prime minister, and her own daughter this was a terrorist attack.
And not no damn protester, right? I'm going to tell my daughter the real, and I'm going to tell America a lie, right? I'm going to tell America, it's on record. You lied to America, right? You didn't tell your daughter it was no damn protesters. You told your daughter it was terrorists. It is most shit fit to come down. Huh? Did you put that on your private server?
You tell the American people one thing, you tell your family an entirely different story.
With all due respect, that's a bunch of malarkey.
That's a bunch of malarkey!
And why is that so?
Because not a single thing he said is accurate. First of all,
Be specific.
I will be very specific.
Watch how you look at it.
This lecture on embassy security. The congressman here cut embassy security in his budget by $300 million below what we asked for. Number one. So much for the embassy security.
Well, you're also talking about a vote that never came to fruition because we actually continued at the exact same funding levels moving forward.
So Joe Biden is lying. Fact check. Biden 10 lies and counting. Fact check.
This is a vote that happened over in the House, but remember, the Senate never got to this point, so we did a continuing resolution. So it's a red herring.
Also, on the night of the attack, you had a call with the president of Libya. Here's what you said to him. Ansar al-Sharia is claiming responsibility. It's interesting. Mr. Katala, one of the guys arrested and charged, actually belonged to that group. And finally, and most significantly, the next day, within 24 hours, you had a conversation with the Egyptian prime minister. You told him this: we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest.
So she lied to us and tell them the truth. And look at her face. She just, I mean, there's no like worry on her face. There's no like stress on her face. She just like, okay, I said that with a straight face, and then she's gonna lie with a straight face. Hillary Clinton is good. This bitch is the devil.
Let me read that one more time. We know, not we think, not it might be, we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest. State Department experts knew the truth. You knew the truth, but that's not what the American people got.
And they wanted more security there.
Well, we weren't told they
You saw his face? Look at it. You're going to show a close-up of his face.
wanted more security again. We did not know they wanted more security.
And again, the American people want to know why. Why didn't you tell the American people exactly what you told the Egyptian prime minister?
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill say diplomats in Benghazi begged for security increases, but were refused.
Asked for 12 agents. His response to that was, you're asking for the sun, moon, and the stars.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
State Department was telling the folks on the ground in Libya, don't continue to ask for this help?
Correct.
Hillary Clinton telling them to stop asking. You asked over 600 times. If I didn't give it to you the first 100 times, or the second 100 times, or the third 100 times, I ain't gonna give it to your ass the 600 times. Stop asking. Stop calling. Matter of fact, block him. I'm not answering this shit no more. Tell him to keep them 4 deputies over there, right? Keeping a guard of 8 acres, of embassy, right? In a hostile damn territory. That's what we do. Don't give them no more help.
Well, I think if you look at the statement that I made, I clearly said that it was an attack, and I also said that there were some who tried to justify it on the basis of the video, Congressman. And I think
but real quick, calling it an attack is like saying the sky's blue. Of course, it was an attack.
Well, we weren't told they.
You saw a look on her face. He said we wasn't told. Look, he looked like. Look how he look at him. Like you was gonna sit there and lie. You was told over 600 times. You gonna sit there and lie? Look at the look on his face. It's disgust. Like Like how you gonna say that? Look, that's a look of disgust. I wasn't told. We wasn't told. You was told 600 times. Look at this look on his face. This is a look of disgust. Look how the face changed. Look how the face changed. Look. You see how fast it changed? Like, I don't believe this fool. I don't believe this fool. The words come out of his mouth.
Oh, they wanted more security again. We did not know they wanted more security again.
Well, you know, I mean, we want to know the truth. The statement you sent out was a statement on Benghazi, and you say vicious behavior as a response to inflammatory material on the internet. If that's not pointing as the motive of being a video, I don't know what is.
The State Department did know in real time from videos that requests for more security resources had been made and were turned down.
And that's certainly how the American people saw it.
Well, Congressman, there was a lot of conflicting information that we were trying to make sense of.
Citing new accounts from whistleblowers, top Republicans on the House Oversight Committee, in a letter to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, the U.S. mission in Libya made repeated requests for increased security in Benghazi. The mission in Libya, however, was denied these resources by officials in Washington.
The situation was very fluid. It was fast moving. There was also a claim of responsibility.
Yeah, your ass should have been responsible. You should have claimed responsibility, right? They said they was asking for and you was shutting their ass down, telling them don't call them or blocking their calls, right? Your ass was responsible. They telling you it was fit to come. They let you know it's not secure, it's not safe, and you had closed ears.
By Ansar al-Sharia. And when I talked to the Egyptian Prime Minister, I said that this was a claim of responsibility by Ansar al-Sharia, by a group that was affiliated, or at least wanted to be affiliated, with al-Qaeda. Sometime after that, the next day, early the next morning after that, on the 12th or 13th, they retracted their claim of responsibility.
Secretary?
And I think if you look at what all of us were trying to do, and we were in a position, Congressman, of trying to make sense of a lot of incoming information and watch.
I mean, look how good she is. Look how, I mean, she has to be the devil. Can nobody be this good at lying when there's plenty of evidence you can dig up? I just showed 20 clips on here when she was talking about it was a protest on the video. And there's plenty of people saying it wasn't the video. The soldiers saying it wasn't the video. Everybody, the parents, everybody saying it wasn't the video. But she said, oh, it was the video. This lie in the people's face, they like, she can't back up out of it now. She can't say it wasn't the video. So she got to keep on with the lie. Keep on with the fucking lie. This bitch she's good.
The way the intelligence community tried to make sense of it.
Madam Secretary.
So all I can say is nobody...
There was not conflicting information the day of the attack because your press secretary said, if pressed, there's no connection between Cairo and Benghazi. It was clear. You're the ones who muddied it up, not the information.
In fact, the man that has been arrested as one of the ringleaders of what happened in Benghazi, Ahmed Abu Khattala, is reported to have said it was the video that motivated him.
At this point, State Department officials believe the attack was planned in advance, but do not believe Ambassador Stevens was directly targeted.
When Hillary failed to protect her people on the ground, had she done her job that night, we wouldn't have had to compromise the annex. Ty, Glenn, Sean, and Ambassador Stevens would be alive today.
I'm glad that you're accepting responsibility. I think that ultimately with your leaving, you accept the culpability for the worst tragedy since 9/11. And I really mean that. Had I been president at the time, and I found that you did not read the cables from Benghazi, you did not read the cables from Ambassador Stevens, I would have relieved you of your post.
You'd have fired!
Libya has to have been one of the hottest of hot spots around the world. Not to know of the request for securities really, I think, cost these people their lives.
I sent up the head of our National Counterterrorism Center, Matt Olson, up to Capitol Hill and specifically said it was an act of terrorism and that extremist elements inside of Libya had been involved in it.
You see how you lie? I sent a nigga up there to Capitol Hill to tell the people that was like, no, you didn't. You were saying you were refusing. It was all on the news. They was pressing you. Even Donald Trump was pressing you to say they was terrorists, and you would not call them terrorists.
So the big deal here is that the original talking points were altered in a way to create a false story about what happened in Benghazi, supportive to the political ambitions of the president 7 weeks before an election.
That would be a pretty odd thing that 3 days later we end up putting out all the information that in fact has now served as the basis for everybody recognizing that this was a terrorist attack.
Now, the White House is saying that there is nothing inappropriate about the State Department giving input into this, and that ultimately the CIA drafted these talking points and approved them. But I'll tell you, Josh, they initially said only one word had been changed.
So the whole only one word has been changed in the talking points, but they redacted the whole damn talking points, and Barack Obama ass on here bragging about a damn talking point. He wanted to brag about a talking point when the whole damn document got redacted more than Donald Trump Mar-a-Lago raid, huh?
Change. So the whole thing defies logic, and the fact that this keeps on getting churned out, frankly, has a lot to do with political motivations. We've had folks who have challenged Hillary Clinton's integrity, Susan Rice's integrity, Mike Mullen and Tom Pickering's integrity. It's a given that mine gets challenged by these same folks.
The first draft of the talking points by the CIA on Friday, September 14th states that we do know that Islamic extremists with ties to al-Qaeda participated in the attack. Later that day, the reference to al-Qaeda is dropped, and attack is changed to violent demonstration.
You see how it was a peaceful protest, attack, and demonstration. You see this shit? These motherfuckers said, oh my goodness, they redacted the whole thing. These sons of bitches, this is how, this is crazy. They redacted the whole thing. It's not an attack, it's a demonstration. People don't get killed in demonstrations, fool. Wait, one more time.
We've had folks who have challenged Hillary Clinton's integrity, Susan Rice's integrity, Mike Mullen and Tom Pickering's integrity. It's a given that mine gets challenged by these same folks.
The first draft of the talking points by the CIA on Friday, September 14th states that we do know that Islamic extremists with ties to al-Qaeda participated in the attack. Later that day, the reference to al-Qaeda is dropped, and attack is changed to violent demonstration.
Oh, so they dropped al-Qaeda, right? And they didn't replace it with nothing, and it said a demonstration. People was killed in a demonstration, right, in Benghazi. Oh, you gotta love this. Hillary Clinton ain't talking about none of this shit, right? You ain't talking about how they dropped that's why they keep on saying an attack. People was attacked. That's why, like, Jim Jordan, like, yes, bitch, it was attacked. That's stupid. I said they was attacked. Yeah, attacked, but bitch, attacked by who? You can be attacked by protesters or you can be attacked by terrorists. Who was they attacked by? They be trying to do the wordplay. I sent my such and such, and I said the Capitol got attacked. Yeah, but by who? You said it was a peaceful protest, a protest gone wrong. Yes, but it was off of a video. No, it wasn't. We keep telling you that shit is fake. Everybody knows. Even fake news is reporting it. Stop denying shit. Bitch, who was you, Kanye West? Just stop denying shit.
But the fact of the matter is, these 4 Americans, as I said right when it happened, were people I sent into the field. And I've been very clear about taking responsibility for the fact that we were not able to prevent their deaths.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
With all due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
Ha! She gave up on, like, what difference does it make? Was it because they killed somebody, or was they peaceful protesters? What difference does it make? It make all the difference in the world, because we need to know why is this dude, right, why is this dude, right, and what connection do he got to the Clintons or the Obamas, right? It's mighty strange, you know, that he gets snitched on for $7 million. Let's see what he was doing before he got snitched on for the $7 million. Do it seem like he was worried, or did it seem like the United States had a case on this dude, right? Because if they had a case on him, why would they have to pay somebody $7 million to tell on him, right? He didn't act like he was worried. He running around. The USA post been looking at him, right? All of a sudden they got to pay another nigga $7 million to get him. Why you got all this evidence and you can't get him for free?
This week, American troops captured a militant suspected of leading the terrorist attack on the U.S. diplomatic mission in Benghazi, Libya.
Accused Benghazi ringleader Ahmed Abu Khatalad basically convicted on terrorism charges, but the jury acquitting the Libyan terror leader of 4 charges, including finding him not guilty of murder.
Right? Not guilty of murder. Acquitted.
The attack on September 11, 2012 killed 4 Americans, including Ambassador Chris Stevens.
It's disgusting. The man was one of the men that killed my son. What's wrong with putting him to death or saying that he did it?
It's important for us to send a message to the world that when Americans are attacked, no matter how long it takes, we will find those responsible and we will bring them to justice.
Do you call dropping the murders of American soldiers justice? What kind of justice is that? Right? You dropping murder. This dude is involved with the mastermind of planning some murders on American citizens at an embassy, right? And you drop the murders and saying, oh, we're going to find him and we're going to apply justice. Really? Who got charged with the murders?
U.S. Special Forces and the FBI had been after this guy for a very long time. They had been watching his movements in the Benghazi area. He had been seen there. He was someone they were keeping an eye on. The U.S. very much believes that Khatallah is one of the key masterminds behind the attacks in Benghazi.
But they had to pay somebody $7 million, you know what I'm saying, to testify and say it was him. No evidence, no witnesses. The only witness they had to pay a nigga $7 million to say, yeah, it was him.
In September 2012, they killed U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 others and has sparked an unending political firestorm on Capitol Hill for the White House.
The Obama administration has come under criticism for not capturing Abu Khatallah earlier. According to CNN, he was not hiding and journalists were able to meet him.
The nigga wasn't hiding. Look, the nigga was in broad daylight. The USA looking for him. He running around drinking literally drinking tea at the most popular. He had football games. He had basketball games. They giving a shout out to soccer games. Right, he posting selfies on the internet, giving up where he at his location. Right, they interview him on live news and shit. Right, right. The USA looking for him where he ain't hard to find.
Oh, we actually met him around a year ago, and it was, as Barbara was mentioning, there in an open space in a coffee shop of a very well-known hotel. He seemed to be fairly confident that he was not a man at that point in time who was being hunted down, even though he was very well aware of the fact that the U.S. did consider him to be a person of interest. He was at the time being protected by one of the other Islamist groups in Benghazi. Now, we did, of course, speak to him about the attack on the U.S. consulate. He does not deny being on the scene of the attack, but he does fully deny, or he did at the time, that he was directly involved in any way and that he was, in fact, the orchestrator, the mastermind.
The other complaint is that he got constitutional due process rights, even though he's a terrorist who killed our men overseas. What's your reaction to that?
The New York Times met with Khatallah in late 2012. He denied any involvement in the attacks, but reportedly spent 2 leisurely hours at a crowded luxury hotel, sipping a strawberry frappe on a patio and scoffing at the threats coming from the American and Libyan.
The niggas sipping frappe. I'm telling you, he was sipping frappe. said he wasn't there. They didn't have no evidence on him. They had to pay somebody $7 million. America knew he was at. He doing interviews. They didn't have nothing on him. Say, yeah, I was there, but I didn't do shit. But they're going to pay you $7 million and say you done sin, right? Nobody convicted of the murder. They had to pay somebody $7 million to testify. Who knows if they telling the truth or not? He wasn't running. He act like he wasn't scared of nothing.
Governments.
The mixed verdict came as a disappointment for family members of those killed who are seeking accountability. Mother of U.S. Foreign Service Officer Sean Smith, who was murdered during the Benghazi attack. Patricia Smith is here with her reaction. Patricia, thank you so much for joining us. Again, we are so sorry for your loss. This is a disgrace. What was your reaction when you heard the verdict?
According to the Slate, the move to arrest Khattala came so late because of fears that it would create retaliation that could cause the destabilization of Libya's post-Gaddafi government. A senior official told the Daily Beast the operation had been planned for more than a year.
Who gave him due process? Why does he deserve due process? He's a terrorist.
Apparently, the Justice Department asked the investigation to gather enough evidence to prosecute him in criminal court.
You're still... yeah, go ahead.
I don't understand how these things are happening. The man killed several people.
The Washington Post reports that the FBI released images of 24 additional suspects for the Benghazi attacks in 2013. One of them is Abu Sufyan bin Kumu, the leader of Ansar al-Sharia in Darna.
Right? Think about this, right? They released the suspects later on, right? They released them, right? Now, if his ass is guilty, right, send his ass to Guantanamo Bay, where they don't have no damn trials at. Send him to Guantanamo Bay, GMO, right? Put his ass over there for life, right? Don't give him no rights. Treat his ass like dog shit over there at Guantanamo Bay. Don't give his ass no trial. Right? He killed him. I mean, if you're going to put him on trial and give him time, right, and give him some damn due process, right? Why would you give him due process? If people in Guantanamo Bay ain't got no due process, send his ass over there and put his ass on the shelf for years, right? And then until you can come with a tribunal or something, right? But don't sit up here and give him no damn rights. Due process. He's not even from America. How in the hell he get due process and he a terrorist? Fucking with the Obamas. How did all of a sudden somebody gets $7 million and all of a sudden somebody get a damn federal trial with due process and don't get the chair but get life, get off on the murders and get a weapon charge?
Arna. He was released from Guantanamo under Bush in 2007.
They go to other terrorists got released from Bush, right? One got released from Bush. You might as well say his ass got released from the damn Clintons.
Obviously, he killed several people, and I've been told that he's not part of the conspiracy or some such thing because they couldn't see him on the cameras and they couldn't identify him. Well, if they can't identify him, why did they arrest him?
Let's get a little bit more in depth here and find out what we know about this guy. According to U.S. military files disclosed by the anti-secrecy group WikiLeaks, Kumu trained in 1993 at one of Osama bin Laden's terrorist camps in Afghanistan and later worked for a bin Laden company in Sudan where the al-Qaeda leader lived for 3 years.
And that's somebody George Bush let out. That's somebody George Bush let out, right? A terrorist George Bush let out, right? Is these really terrorists, right? Or and with all this money being thrown around and people been let out of jail and people been set up, and is these really terrorists, or is somebody getting paid to do some shit, right? They really going to, I don't know, right? You can say somebody going to jail and get some money up under the table just to convict somebody, right? Or something like that. But is they really going to jail? Is they really getting what they deserve? Is they terrorists? And they getting a slap on the wrist? I said risk.
So do you feel like you've gotten any justice whatsoever?
Absolutely none.
ABC reports that Khattala will eventually face trial in a federal court in Washington, D.C.
A suspected Libyan militant was convicted on terrorism charges Tuesday, but the jury acquitted him on the most serious counts stemming from the 2012 attacks in Benghazi, Libya, which killed 4 Americans. Prosecutors accused Abu Ahmed Khattala of leading the deadly attack, but defense attorneys said their evidence was lacking.
What do you want to happen next?
I want Hillary to go to jail.
She filed what is known as a writ of mandamus.
Right? Hillary Clinton filed something in court where she can't get convicted, right? Because Judicial Watch is trying to take her ass to court, right? But she filed something in motion in court, right, under a liberal judge where she can't go to court. Hillary Clinton is a beast. Hillary Clinton can commit crimes and go to a judge and say, look, I don't want to come to court. And they won't even make her. Hillary cold bitch.
Which is, according to the Justice Department, an extraordinary remedy that should only be used in exceptional circumstances of peculiar emergency or public importance.
Has she called you? Have you spoken with her since?
She has no. The last thing that she said to me was on TV, calling me a liar.
And obviously that doesn't cover Mrs. Clinton having to go under oath about her email misconduct. She says she has an indisputable right not to be questioned under oath. And we've laid out the many issues that are outstanding that the court also wants answered. She's not above the law, and we hope the appellate court quickly dismisses it.
Did you hear that? She have an indisputable right not to testify in court, and they gotta appeal it, right? They went to court and they can get the emails, right, and make a question about the emails. But she's like, I do not have to go to court, but I have a such and such institutional right, whatever the hell she said, independent right or whatever, right? I can't go. And they said, well, look, we agree with her, and they gotta take her ass and they gotta appeal the decision, right? They came up. They filed some shit in court. She has a such and such and such and such and such and such. What the hell is that? He didn't even hear about that. He like, wait a minute, I do law, and I ain't never heard no shit like that. Well, really, what it means is she can't testify on herself. Hillary cold bitch. Hillary cold bitch. She better than you. She better than you. If this was Donald Trump, his ass, they would have been like, you got to come to court. You got to testify. We're going to subpoena your ass. Ain't no lawyer, you know what I'm saying? They gave up Donald Trump tax records. They won't give up her emails? They're like, hell no. We signing a law. Bitch, you can't plead the fifth. This not even to plead the fifth of case. How the hell you plead the fifth on this? I'm Hillary Clinton. I don't have to do shit. You know what I mean? You better be quiet before you get Jeffrey Epstein around this motherfucker. Huh? You gonna get Jeffrey Epstein. You gonna have it was people happen to sleep with a pillow over their face. They say Hillary Clinton, such and such aide, happened to die because he slept with a pillow over his face. Did you hear about that other one? Like such and such happened to trip and drown in a pond in the middle of the... Like, what the fuck? Another person was jogging in New York, such and such, and got robbed and shot. Like, what the hell? Right? Such and such was in a car accident on a railroad. Such and such Clinton executive was on a car on a railroad. Like, what the fuck? Like, the little bitch from Hades was trying to steal the children, all of a sudden committed suicide with a gun in her mouth from the back. Look what she blew the back of her brains out. Like, how the fuck she get a gun back there? Like, they all like Hillary Clinton slipped on a banana and slit his throat. Like, what the fuck? Go look at the list of the accidents. You think I'm playing? This bitch got accidents. Hillary Clinton, drowned in the shower. What the fuck? The fuck you drowned in the shower? I mean, this is Hillary Clinton. They got the most mysterious murders in the world, right? This out of nowhere, right? Mysterious Haitian aide from Africa died with a chicken bone in his throat. Did he choke on the bone? No, it went through his throat. Like, what the fuck? It was pierced through his throat. All of them there. I wouldn't want to work for Hillary Clinton. Like, you know what? Hillary Clinton probably make your ass drink blood and sign a contract and all kind of shit, right? Tell your secrets and shit. Put you in a room. You wake up like, where am I? Where am I? It's like, you want to work for me? I need to tell all your secrets. You be asshole naked and shit. Like, what's going on? You in the Clinton administration now. You got to get butt ass naked and tell me all your secrets. What about my baby mama? What I want to do to that bitch? Bitch, you ain't got to do all that for this. I would tell you proudly, give me a blunt and a cup of Hennessy. You ain't got to do all this, Hillary. I would tell you all her secrets. What the hell you doing this for? Shit, you could have just said something. Don't do all this old shit. We could have done this the easy way. You better not work with Hillary Clinton. Your ass gonna get Jeffrey Epstein. I'm surprised Monica Lewinsky's still walking around. She's still young though. Monica's still young. It ain't been. They still can attach Hillary Clinton. If Monica Lewinsky end up this fucking dead, they gonna be like, "Come on, Hillary." Like, damn, how we gonna pull this one off? How really, Hillary? She gonna die with a damn barrette in her mouth? Like, she gonna die from cigar burns on her tongue? Come on. We knew it was you. Who else gonna kill a bitch with a cigar and a barrette? That's you, Hillary. We can't cover this, Hillary. They know it's the public gonna know it's you. Old Bill, we knew you were trying to get back at the bitch for about 20 years. We knew you wasn't gonna let it slide. We knew you kept on saying, look, I'm telling you, look, they said one time, right? I don't know, look, you can Google this, right? I don't try to Google this. They said one time Hillary Clinton used to beat the shit out of Bill Clinton, right? Like Bill Clinton used to come come out the room, and Hillary Clinton used to whip his ass. He used to have black eyes and all kind of shit. Oh man, they said the Secret Service. It was a book, right? Like Bill Clinton, she used to beat the shit out of Bill Clinton. Like Bill, what? Damn, where that shit at? I wish I could find that video. I will play that. Secret Service. I'm gonna try to find that video. They said Hillary was beating the shit out of Bill. I was feeling sorry for Bill. You ever don't like somebody but you feel sorry for him? Like, I don't like Bill Clinton, but damn, I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him because Hillary shouldn't be doing that to him. That's not right, Hillary. Like, you can't be doing that to him. Like, where is? Can I find that video? Okay, I think this is it right here. I think this is it. Look, I think this is it. I'm gonna try to play it because Hillary Clinton beat his ass. I think this is it right here. Let me see if this is it. Hillary Clinton beat his ass. Used to beat the shit out of him. I hope this is it. Used to beat his ass. Hold on. I gotta push. It's playing the commercial. Okay, boom. Okay, look. Where is that? Okay. I think this is it right here. I think this is it right here. Say Hillary Clinton used to beat his ass. Beat his ass. Where we at? See if this is it.
Live images right there. There's one of the bullet holes right there in the glass.
Yeah. Actually, what you're seeing there is something I actually experienced years ago in the early 1980s. This sheriff down there one time, and I was joking with him. I said, "There's no way state police that protected him being forced to help him facilitate these things."
Trooper Gate.
Yeah, so that kind of thing. And we also heard these stories about their behavior with each other.
Volcanic,
dangerous, and Actually, I talked to this sheriff down there one time, and I was joking with him. I said, "There's no way this guy could ever get elected." And he looked at me like he was looking right through me, and he said, "Let me tell you something, Gary. Believe everything you hear, and they will get elected.
Wow.
And they'll stay there for 8 years." He said, "It is unbelievable."
Wait,
Knowing how the White House worked, I walked right down to the curator's office, which was a couple doors down, opened the door and looked in, and there I saw a crushed, broken blue vase in a cardboard box.
In the archives room.
In the curator's office, yes, ma'am.
So then when you saw the president...
Yeah, so later on, the next time I saw the president over at the Oval Office when he came in, he had a mark under his eye. It was a black eye, but you could see they were trying to conceal it with makeup. And I said to his assistant, Nancy Hunterick and Betty Carey, "What's that mark under the president's eye?" Right. And they said, Nancy said, "Oh, he's allergic to coffee." And I said, "Under one eye?" And so...
Just to whip his ass!
With other Secret Service agents about what do we do? We're here to protect the President of the United States. What happens if his wife is the troublemaker?
Right. That was a topic of discussion. It kind of started out one day, in particular, I remember, as like we were joking about it, and then all of a sudden the agent I was talking about was like, "Well, what do we do?" I go, "Well, you got to protect the president." I mean,
they got to protect the president. They said they might have to put a couple in Hillary's ass. Like, what do we do if we walk in and Hillary Clinton beating the shit out of Bill Clinton? What do we do? What do they do? Like, we gotta protect the president. Put two in that bitch. Like, Hillary, she gonna make him make decisions. You in there, you beating the shit out of the president, and what they gonna do? They gotta protect the president.
When he's doing something he shouldn't be, and you got to protect the president, you got to protect her, and whoever the poor person is that's there, they're kind of on their own.
So the scenario was if she walked in on the president with one of the women.
Right. It was a concern.
Right.
And then when you take what I experienced and what other people experienced about her dangerous, angry behavior, and
Bill running around the White House fucking with hoes, and Henry running around beating bitches' ass, running around throwing bases and giving niggas black eyes. The security like, man, her violent behavior is getting out of control. Like, what do we do? They having meetings like, that's a damn good question. What do we do? Like, we gotta protect, we gotta run around, and we gotta stop Bill from getting here. So if we hear, hey, Hillary walking down the hall, tell Bill to tell Bill to put out the cigars, right? Here come Hillary. That he fucked up. They said, look, Hillary come out there smiling. We know Hillary is the devil. She be beating the shit out of Bill. Why you think Bill be scared? Why you think Bill's scared to leave? Bill been wanting to leave since he had the little black kid. Remember Bill had the little black kid? Little black kid like, why you lying? You my daddy. Bill be like, no, I'm not. Like, yes, you is. You was around with my mama. You used to send me clothes and shit. Why all this shit? Stop. I'm your dad. I'm your son. I'm most, like, let me meet my sister, right? You treat my sister better than me. Why? Because I'm black? This nigga got a black kid. Hillary like, no, that ain't my son. I don't really do black kids. Hillary, he like, why you won't let my godmother let you claim me? Hillary with Jeffrey Epstein, that little black. I ain't heard nothing from that little black dude in a minute. That dude probably. I want to see if he's still alive. Do anybody know if the little black boy is still alive? Because Hillary Clinton, look, they say, look, she got an attitude. Watch this.
Put that together. It's a recipe for domestic violence.
She hated
It's a recipe for domestic violence. You thought I was playing when I was saying Hillary Clinton was whooping Bill ass. You thought I was playing. She the OJ. Hillary Clinton is the white OJ.
Guys,
She
you
did
had
not
to
like-
basically jump into a closet to stay out of her eyesight.
Well, we were supposed to. I would tell you that I never did, and it got me in a couple jams once in a while, like on the road. But yes, there was this guideline that she didn't want to see people. And
she didn't want to see people. People had to jump in the closet when Hillary Clinton was walking down the damn. See a cold bitch. The Secret Service had to be secret when they was guarding her. They had to hide in closets and shit when she wanted to be alone. This bitch was evil. I'm telling you, she's evil.
And here's an example. Check out this quote from your book. She said, once threw a Bible at an agent on her detail, hitting him in the back of the head.
She threw the Bible. She threw the Bible in the back of the head. This bitch. Hillary Clinton beating agents' ass, beating Bill ass, but making people hop in the closet. This bitch is the devil. Tom, this bitch is the devil, Tom. That bitch hit him. Look, she once threw a Bible at the. What do Jesus think of that? Like, you assaulted a nigga. Like, you could have picked up anything. Where you was at when the closest thing was a Bible. or you just went and found the Bible. Like, did you do that on purpose? Like, where was she at when she just grabbed the Bible? Like, that was the first thing she saw, like, the Bible. And she didn't look at, like, this is a Bible. I can't throw the Bible at the back of a nigga head. She once threw a Bible at an agent on her detail, hitting him in the back of the head. Assignment to her detail was a form of punishment handed down. I told you, you don't want to work for Hillary Clinton, Tom. You do not want to work for Hillary. You will get the shit beat out of you, right? She gonna draw. I'm telling you, she the devil. You think this is a game with Jeffrey Epstein? You think it's a game? She not playing. Look.
Assignment to her detail was a form of punishment handed down by passive, aggressive middle management. When her detail passed, Mrs. Clinton expected everyone to just disappear. She didn't want to see anyone in the White House halls. If the whole place were the personal executive mansion, it was insulting. She hated uniforms.
Yeah, you were giving up your life, or could be potentially giving up your life to protect her.
Right. My experience with them is they don't like the military and they don't like law enforcement. And my personal feeling, based on what I saw, is she does not like men.
Sure. Also,
Said she do not like men. She like pussy. That's why she wear all them pantsuits. She gay. He said, from my shit. She don't like Bill Clinton. She be whooping Bill's ass. She is the man. She wear the pants. That's why Bill be sitting with his legs crossed and shit. Hillary wear the pants, right? You ever see, look, wait a minute, wait. I ought to find this video, right? Where this girl was like, Hillary Clinton was molesting me. Hillary Clinton was molesting me. She was trying to, let me see, molested, she like, Hillary Clinton do not like men, and Bill Clinton do not like women. Oh my God. Oh shit. That shit is crazy. That shit, hold on.
Lewinsky affair and what you did to short-circuit it, and she overcame it, and they were unbelievably sloppy about it.
I tried to help them when I could. When it was clear to me that Monica Lewinsky was trying to put herself in the president's path all the time, I went to Evelyn Lieberman, and I asked her to take some steps to have her removed. And she understood what I was saying. And I actually said to Evelyn, look, if I'm overstepping my bounds, then file a complaint, but I think it's that important. And Monica got removed for about a week, and then magically she came back, not an intern now, but with a hard White House pass that allows her to go most anywhere but their private living quarters.
Tell us the...
Well, let me finish this video, but this bitch, I just want you to know that this bitch is evil. You know what I'm saying? So the Benghazi and all that shit, this bitch is evil. Right? OMG. Ought to do a video on the evil life of Hillary Clinton. That'd be a hell of a video.
And what happened after that?
She hasn't talked to me. I've been begging her, please tell me what happened. I don't know officially what happened. Nobody has ever told me. All they would tell me is that I do not deserve to know because I am not a member of the immediate family.
Elaine, this was a mixed verdict. While Cataldo was charged with 18 different counts, ranging from federal murder to destruction of property, he was only convicted of 4 of them.
To the verdict. I'm disgusted. To be honest with you, it should never got into a criminal court.
I'll be back on to discuss this further.
Do something about it. Let's have a hearing on this thing. I want to talk to Hillary. I want her to tell me what happened. I don't want it to be put under the rug.
To allow a terrorist to have due process and to be covered under our Constitution.
Wait a minute. Y'all think I'm playing? Wait a minute. Y'all think I'm playing? Wait a minute. Let me see something. Okay, right here, right? Here we go. Y'all think I'm playing? I found the video. I found the video.
My sexual experience with Bill Clinton was extremely limited, in spite of the fact that I was a sex slave. It was my experience that Bill Clinton is bisexual, leaning far more towards a homosexual end. All I've ever seen. My sexual experience with Bill Clinton was extremely limited, in spite of the fact that I was a sex slave. It was my experience that Bill Clinton is bisexual, leaning far more towards a homosexual end. All I've ever seen him involved in was the homosexual activity, with very limited experience with him myself. Whereas my experience was much more prevalent with Hillary Clinton, because Hillary is also bisexual, leaning more towards a homosexual end, and it was she who accessed my sex programming.
Whoa, I told you. Hillary Clinton was programmed. And that's what dudes say. Like, man, she's more into the woman. She's more into the woman. And somebody said Hillary Clinton is molesting me. Bill Clinton is gay. Is they lying? Is she lying? We getting true information tonight.
Is completely ridiculous. That's why I didn't testify. That's why I didn't testify at the trial, because I thought it was really a sideshow.
The jury convicted him of material support for terrorism, conspiracy, malicious destruction of property, and also got him on a weapons offense.
This guy, at the very best, Katala should have got a military tribunal. In his case, at the very best. In the very best, in my case, the extraction team should have put a bullet in his head.
Patricia, thanks again. Thanks so much for coming on.
Hope not. If it were any other litigant, they'd be pushed out of court pretty darn quickly.
Right.
With respect.
Wait. This thing about this, right? Now, I done a video. On that whole. I ought to redo that video. I done a video on that whole Illuminati thing, right? Because I told you I used to be into conspiracy theories and Illuminatis and all of those shit before I was in the government. I know that shit ran hand in hand, right? So I done this video. I saw the video a long time ago, right? And it was on this Illuminati video that I was watching with David Icke and all kind of stuff. And they was talking about child sex rings and stuff, right? And they was talking about how Hillary Clinton, right? How Hillary Clinton was her sex what's it called it, right? And what they do, right, is they have young girls. They were basically some Jeffrey Epstein shit, right? They have young girls, right, that they're trained, right, and they have sex with them, and when they reach a certain age, they'll stop having sex with them. But the little girls that have daughters and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So they have handlers, right? So they go to people's house and they sleep, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Then they're passing this person and passing that person, right? And then somebody fell in love with her and saved her, right? But she told it all. She was telling all the little sex rings and all the little senators, and she was telling all the Clintons. She was telling all the, I mean, she was giving it up. They were like, oh, she lying. Well, later on, the same thing Jeffrey Epstein was supposed to be doing was the same thing, was subscribing about what they was doing to the little girl that she was talking about. I ought to do that video again. That video was deep. Like, these motherfuckers is molesting kids, but they won't let you do no videos like that on the Clintons nowadays, you know what I'm saying? With the child molesting and the stuff that they talking about on there, like with the Clintons, they were like, no, we not finna let you do that. So, good looking out, time is, okay, well, Tom want another video tomorrow. That's why he okay, well, it's time for me to get back to work. I gotta get Tom a video tomorrow, damn it, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to get back with y'all. I'm going to do some research so I can come up. I got to work on my mastermind. I got to get some thoughts in my head on what I'm going to work up on tomorrow. And do we got any suggestions? Do we got any suggestions in the chat on the video for tomorrow? Do we got any suggestions? I'm working with, right? We got all kind of stuff. If you're on my Patreon, go to my Patreon. I got a nigga running into the daycare, and I'm gonna put another video up tomorrow. So if you're on my Patreon and you don't want to see political videos all the time, go to the Patreon where you can see funny videos that ain't got nothing to do with police. I mean, with politics. Got something to do with police and stupid shit like that. So if you're on my Patreon, go on there. Go on there. Okay, well, Bill, I should do some. I should do some Bill Hammer. I should do some. We ain't done no Bill Pelosi lately. Was it Paul Pelosi? Paul Pelosi. Well, I'm up out of here. I get to catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all ain't got no requests. We ain't got no requests. Tom, you ain't got no requests. Tom, you ain't got no requests. Tom. Tom ain't got no damn requests. Linda, you got a request, Linda? Let's see what Linda can come up with. Linda, if you could watch a video tomorrow, Linda, what would it be, Linda? Huh? Tom, ask Linda if she could watch a video tomorrow, what would it be? If you could have a video tomorrow, what would it be? Huh? Potty break. Potty break. We trying to get a request. What would it be, Miss Linda Smallwell? We doing dedications. Or who else on here? Dick Harris. Oh, look, if I was a porn star, my name would be Dick Harris. Huh? My name would be Dick Harris. You always say that shit, Tom. Tom always say, keep it up, do you? I be like, Tom, what you want to see? I don't give a fuck, do you? Tom. You gotta make some requests sometime, Tom. Wait, play old school dink. Take the phone with you. Take the phone with me? I should do some street shows. I should do a street show tomorrow. There'll probably be some people out tomorrow too, because tomorrow's Saturday. I probably can give away some shirts and do a street show. Do a street show on abortions, right? All the ass women on the street. Like, how many times do the average woman in her life worry about an abortion? How many times in your life have you ever worried about an abortion? It's been your main topic. Well, why is these white women out here voting on it talking about, oh, I'm going with abortion? That's just a power grab. They just use that shit as an excuse to put some money behind it, talking about, oh, it's going to do your women rights because, that was just a money ploy. That shit worked. Like, oh, they're going to mess with my rights? I'm not going to be able to kill no more babies? Willie Hutton related today keep telling us how they fucking us. Willie Horton, how they fucking us? They fucking us plenty ways. They fucking us with no Vaseline. They fucking with no Vaseline, Tom. Said freedom. What's that say? Take the phone with me. Or you are good. I can't think. Can't nobody thinking nothing. Can't nobody thinking nothing. Can't nobody thinking nothing. Okay, well, let me get on something. I'll see y'all later. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. I'll make up something in my mind. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Since y'all can't think of nothing, I'll think of something in my mind. I'm out this summer, bitch.